Hello everyone and welcome to the Let's Talk Wrestling podcast. The wrestling podcast will review every segment of Raw and give you guys, obviously, the wrestling news of the week. My name, as the host of this show, you can see it on some of our earlier videos, it's down the bottom there on the picture, you can kind of see it there, is Turbo Tony. That is my name. And we're here, and like I said, I never do this alone, guys, never do it, well, very rarely do it alone. Who do I do it with, you ask? I do it with the world's largest athlete, the Big Matt.
Okay.
Yeah. And it works, because you're bigger than me.
No.
Yeah, no.
Well,
no.
yeah, I get that. But...
Yeah. No, you're not taking it this week, no?
Not so much.
You know, this is the first week where I've gone through about a few of them, and then I realised that I've already done them.
It's starting to hit that point, though, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, okay.
I may have to start rehashing how to say the names I've already done. I'm pretty sure I may have already done one I've already done. I just don't know. 72 episodes we're on now? 72? Yeah, 72.
Yeah.
Crazy. How you doing this week, Matt?
If this is, like, I've never had hay fever or anything like that, but if this is what it is, it sucks.
It's a bad thing to figure out what that is at, like, age 20, whatever.
7, yeah. So, like, I don't even know what this is. I just know I don't like it.
Whereas us long-time sufferers, we already know what that pain is. Well, welcome to the club. I guess you don't want to be part of that, but still.
Nah.
However, this is the week of Extreme Rules. Extreme Rules is tonight, which will be quite obviously tomorrow night. We record this on Saturday, but still, you get the point, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to be giving our predictions this week. This week, by the way, guys, is a packed show. Let's tell you what's on this week. Before we do, Matt, would you like to drop that Twitter handle for our fans?
The @Talk Wrestle Pod.
Of course it is @Talk Wrestle Pod. You can see it up there as well. Packed show for you guys, because obviously it's been so busy, the last couple of weeks, and we've had, recording at different dates and, picking and choosing different segments. Myself and Matt, this week we've kind of gone back to our, as Solomon Crow would say, your regularly, broadcasted program or whatever. However,
that line that he does.
Yes, that line he does. However, talking of NXT, guys, we are changing the format of the show. And no, we're not signed up by WWE. No, it's not what we're talking about. Fail of the Week will now only be a thing that we do every now and then when something comes up. We knew it was coming eventually. Fail of the Week would have to go. We've done so many weeks of fails. We do have a few more in the tank. It's just we didn't have many more weeks. Me and myself and Matt decided we want to get a new segment bled in, ready for the 75th episode where, we'll be having a few changes in there. So what do we have for you this week? We have a brand new segment on the show, which we will be doing each week going forward, and I think you guys will like it. We have our news, our fan feedback, where obviously we answer all your questions as usual. We're never getting rid of that. We have our Raw review, which will take place at the end of the show. And what is the new segment? What is the new segment, I hear people asking? We will be putting on our professor caps on, and we will be giving our NXT report card. Each week now on, we will take 2 or 3 superstars or female wrestlers, and we'll be giving them a grade of how they've been performing over the last couple of weeks, and we'll be giving our thoughts on where they need to improve or if they've been doing fantastic. That's our new segment we'll be doing on the show. I know you're excited for it, Matt.
Oh, I am, yeah.
We've been waiting to do something NXT-based for quite a while at this point, so...
Yeah, any excuse.
So, NXT report card. This is the first episode 72. Big episode, packed episode. And obviously, I even forgot this, our predictions at the end of the show as well for Extreme Rules. Wow, what a packed show. So, without any more procrastination, we need to get into this bad boy. Otherwise, me and Matt will be recording for the better part of 3 hours, and my voice is dead most of the time for a 2-hour podcast. So. News. Interesting news this week there, Matt. And some of it revolves around TNA. Now, have you heard about this? About TNA not having whether or not it's the funds. I don't believe it is. I think it's just the way that they're moving around their payment schemes at the moment. But they're definitely not paying their talent and production crew at the current moment. The news is now apparently that some checks are over 2 months late of being launched in. Apparently, some of the production crew didn't get some of the wages that they were obviously owed by the company for these events that were done earlier on in the year. I still haven't any payment in regards to that. And if you remember as well, Matt, this is the second incident of this nature that's happened along these lines in less than a
Yeah,
year.
I remember.
Now, I would argue that this sort of stuff that happens is because TNA is a dying company. Now, we've said this before, and I know a lot of our fans are actually TNA fans, fair enough. I'm not talking about their product on the screen. Don't have much of an issue with that, at least not recently. I haven't watched it much myself. But when you've got the likes of one of your commentators, a long-time commentator in the team, in the term of Taz, leaving the company because he wasn't paid when he was due to be paid, that's a big problem right there.
Yeah. Well, I think if anything, Taz is probably just like, this is just ECW all over again. It's like, if I'm going to get paid, I'm going to get fucking paid.
Like one of the things that we always hear from ECW when it was failing was one of the points of Paul Heyman was struggling to pay money to his talent.
Yeah.
Now TNA, apparently it's not in regards to financially, it's in terms of the management. I don't know. We're not in the backstage of TNA, but to me it sounds very troubling at very least. You've got to make sure you pay your talent. And apparently the production crew were very close, like last time, to be taking a strike action against TNA, which would have been disastrous for the company. Yeah, I'm really sorry, TNA fans, but your company reeks of a dying brand.
Yeah.
TNA to me is dying. It's on life support.
That's it. It's sort of struggling along.
Yeah, I mean, it made the switch to Destination America. Fair enough, it had to do that. It was dropped by Spike, not by TNA's choice. And their numbers have steadily fallen since they've gone to Destination America, which we knew would happen. Yeah, let's be legitimate here, I'll say it now, overall, right, just so people get it clear. TNA will not survive if their management keep making mistakes like this over and over again.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line.
Easily. Sort of just like, is a way of a business sense? Well, no. Okay then. Well, we're going to have some problems.
Yeah. No, exactly. And I think TNA should see the writing on the wall that even let's say more dedicated wrestling fans. I hate saying the internet wrestling fans or the hardcore wrestling fans. I don't like saying that, but the more dedicated wrestling fans, when they look at the alternative to WWE, TNA isn't even on that list anymore.
Yeah.
It's not to me. To me, when I think of an alternative to WWE, I think of Lucha Underground.
New Japan.
Think of New Japan. Right?
Ring of Honor.
I don't think of TNA as that anymore. I think that's a problem for them. That they're not seen now anymore as the second company. To me, they're about the fourth or fifth top.
Yeah.
So it is worry for TNA, and like I said, TNA fans, I'm not digging on you. You can enjoy the product as much as you like, but I would enjoy it as much as you can now, because this company ain't going to be around much longer. I guarantee it. I mean, they keep making mistakes like this. Like, me and Matt, we've been wrestling fans for a long time. We saw this stuff in WCW. We saw it in ECW. We can smell a dying company when a company's about to die. This is it.
Yeah.
It's a shame because, listen, like all the talent from TNA, let's say TNA dies tomorrow. They shut up shop, sell all their assets, can't do it anymore, right? All that talent, and they've got some really good talent on their books. Where do they go? WWE won't take many of them, if any of them. Ring of Honor aren't going to take many of them back. Lucha Underground maybe might take one or two. I don't see many of them getting...
I don't know who would actually benefit at Lucha.
Yeah, I don't know. But I can guarantee you that the majority of their roster, as good as it is, just won't get accepted many other places. And it's not so much of these guys aren't good enough. It's just these companies already established. They have their rosters. They can't bring 15 new guys in. There's no way they can do that.
That's it.
Lucha Underground, as good as it is, and me and Matt like it, and it still currently holds for me the best match of the year so far, apparently still has, at this moment, has money issues. Which is worrying, obviously, but the fact is that they're doing good. and they've got money issues. So they're not going to have the money to bring in loads of people. Ring of Honor don't either. Let's just be realistic. So yeah, it is worrying, and the people that you worry most for about are the wrestlers that have killed themselves with TNA, to be honest.
Yeah.
So let's move forward from now. I don't want to talk about TNA too much longer, because it is a sad state of affairs, really. People not getting paid. TNA eventually will end up dissolving. It's just not good news, but we have to drop it anyway. And I hope that the production company, because they're the ones that really are the unsung heroes, get their money's worth from the company. They should, they've got families to feed. They don't have the luxury like the on-air talent the actual wrestlers do to go to an independent show and earn a bit of
That's it, just go to other companies and do the work. But
Exactly.
It's just like, it's a TV company. It's like, oh, well, we're not on TV anymore.
Yeah, exactly. So, worrying news from TNA anyway. But we'll keep an eye on that. We've just said for weeks that TNA's not in a good state, and they haven't improved in terms of popularity and earning money and ratings in just so long. It's really worrying, but there we are. NXT have announced that they will be doing more dates out on the road outside of Full Sail. This is good news. They did that show over in the Bay Area for WrestleMania week, which I heard was really, really good. Wasn't aired, but it was really, really good. And obviously they did a few matches at the Access as well, so that was that was part of an NXT show that they aired on the network. This is good news for NXT because they're growing, unlike TNA, as a brand. I know NXT is owned by WWE, so you know what I get, but still, they are on the rise.
That's it.
It's all adding up as things go on for NXT. And at the moment, it's good because they're settling at the moment because I think the WrestleMania buzz, and some people may disagree with me, just hear me out when I say this. I think it did damage NXT a little bit because they had to do a lot of these other shows, and it seems like their weekly televised program of NXT on the network suffered a little bit over the coming weeks of that. What was the one that they had at the the Arnold Schwarzenegger Sports Hall of Fame event? They did one there, if you remember. That was the. Did you see that one?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one where they had it almost
we had Riley. Well, we had Riley Owens then.
Yeah, it was the first Riley Owens match.
Yeah.
And that was really cool to watch because it was one of those weird things where they had the entrance up, but they didn't have a ramp to the ring because the ring was literally right there. They had to go around. It was a really different sort of feeling, which I enjoyed. I thought it was quite good.
That's it.
But more, if they can get more shows like this, in towns that are really going to love that's the NXT style and that small arena sort of feeling. This is all good stuff for NXT. I think the one thing that maybe it doesn't get these guys, maybe not so much the Devitt's because they already know about the traveling, but some of the other guys coming in is that they do the same show in NXT in the same place where they train, and they get onto the main roster and suddenly it's travel. So getting them to at least have a little bit of time traveling to different venues maybe will teach them, you got to get ready for the traveling, which can wear it out of you over time. So I heard, Brock Lesnar, for one, doesn't do a full-time schedule, mainly because he hates the traveling.
That's it. It's like I'd much rather sort of stay at home and then just sort of come out when I need to.
Yeah. He despite that's the reason he quit WWE in the first place. He hated the traveling, and some people just aren't made for it. But still, this is good stuff for NXT. This is good all around. This is good for the NXT talent. This is good for WWE. This is good for the fans. This is good for the live fans who's going to be able to watch NXT in their local area. This is good for everyone. This is good stuff. So, good news back there. And I hope that these aren't just like live events that they do. They shouldn't be, but they're events that will air live, not live, on the network as actual episodes. That'd be fantastic. So.
Yeah, it's essentially like an NXT house show.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing.
I'm taking a drink of Coke for the working man, shall we say. Now, on to our last bit of news of this week, and this one's a bit of a doozy, bit of an interesting one. Seth Rollins' curb stomp is banned. Active immediately, as in on Raw. He didn't use it, and it won't be used again. Now, this is interesting here because he's been using it for a while. This is the move that technically won him the World Championship, if you look at it in that kind of fashion. And, it's been put over, the move itself has been put over as a very devastating move. Put out Randy Orton for that period of time. So, why did they ban this? Well, WWE deem it too dangerous. What they mean by that is that it leaves people too open for
The
injury.
concussion.
The concussion. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
essentially what they're getting at here.
I think it's because, like, even with like a DDT or anything like that, you could still sort of go a little bit out of the way to avoid anything. But it's like with the curb stomp, it's like it could easily just result in your forehead is going in that mat.
Yeah, I can understand their point of view. I think it's taken them a very long time to figure that out. To
Yeah.
be honest, considering he's had that finisher for over a year since his Shield days, that was his finisher.
Yeah.
So yeah, very odd in that sense. But
Did he have it in the Shield? I can't remember now.
at the latter stages of the Shield when they're starting to
Yeah.
differentiate themselves, yeah. So yeah, this is a little bit strange to me that they come to this decision and the decision itself, because now one thing I think of when it comes to this is that the curb stomp itself is a move that, and this doesn't go into much, but it looks like a move you could legitimately do outside of WWE in a fight to hurt someone.
Oh yeah.
I know WWE want to make it, with family friendly. They keep an eye on that sort of stuff. But obviously, then the main reason for this is that they're worried about people getting concussions and along those lines. And you've got to look at concussions as being such a serious problem. Corey Graves can't wrestle anymore at the young age that he is because of concussions. It's a big deal. Yeah. So now he's got a new finisher, which he debuted. It's this sort of double arm front, face
It's
buster
like a
style move.
face. It's like the dirty deeds, but in a different way.
Yeah, but like he falls on his front rather than
Yeah.
I'm not sold on it personally, but it may take a little while just to get it over. But yeah, we'll see how it goes on from there. It is a little bit awkward, obviously, for Rollins now because he had this established finishing move that had got over with the fans as being something worth taking notice of. He's the champion now, and now he has to get over a new move as his finisher move.
Yeah.
And the finisher move is a big part of any superstar's package. Don't want that to sound like a pun when it comes to Seth Rollins, package and stuff like that stuff. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think about the finisher? Are you sold on it? Do you think that can become something new?
Yeah. No, I'm not sold on it. Maybe eventually, but it's like I like the one thing. The one thing I like with the curb stomp, it was an out of nowhere move.
Yeah.
And it looked. I don't know what. I was just like, it looked aggressive. Well, it did.
It looked visceral, which was good.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of one thing. It was sort of like he's a smarmy, slimy bastard sort of thing. But it's like, but he had the finisher that sort of worked along with it.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah,
and now I'm just not so. I don't know.
Not so enthused about it. Yeah, well, like I said, I agree with you in terms of some of the best finishers, and that's actually one of our questions this week, is the snappy ones, the ones that come, that you can't see coming. And sometimes he could make it so the curb stomp will come, kind of randomly.
From anywhere.
This movie he's got now, no, you just can't do that in the same breath. So
that's it.
But there's not many moves that can. So yeah, he's caught in this awkward little mid ground now. I'm sure he'll get himself out of it. But yeah, I just think it's strange it's taken him this long to come up with this. And it's not as if an injury has happened. Maybe a few guys have come back after not taking the move properly and said, you know what, I'm not happy with this. Maybe that's happened, or maybe they've come up to Rollins and said, look, can you absolutely 100% promise us that you're not going to injure someone? And he said, well, realistically, there is always a chance. And they said, well, you're not going to use it anymore.
Yeah.
But
I think it's going to be played off just like the punt.
What do you mean? Well, the punt can still be used, doesn't it? You can still go for the punt. Like that, the punt isn't banned. Like this move was banned.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe he can tease it, but he's not going to ever use it. So, but yeah, strange. It wouldn't have been maybe good in some way in like the storyline between Rollins and Orton, that maybe Orton won a match that got the curb stomp banned for life. I know that's kind of going a bit strange, but it would have been more of a reason in storyline that Rollins has seemingly departed with this great finishing move that was so crushing and punishing and has beaten many superstars. It took down Brock Lesnar,
The move, yeah, exactly. The move that took a dink out of Lesnar's armor, sort
Yeah,
of thing.
yeah, exactly. So, but still, we'll see where it goes from there. I'm like I said, I don't want to say I don't like the finisher. I'm not that enthused about it, but we'll give it time. Maybe he
That's
can
it.
make
I'm not
it work.
sold on it.
Yeah, but I'll give it time. So, Curb Stomp is gone, and so is the news for this week. That was the news for this week. Some interesting tidbits there. I know we've got a few fans, like I said, just going back to the TNA thing. I know we've got a few fans that are TNA fans at heart. Just leave a comment. Let us know what you think about the state of TNA at the moment. In regards to, not in regards to the management, because the facts are there to show, but what's actually going on the screen. Is this actually affecting, the quality of the shows? I don't watch it anymore for good reason, but I've heard that their recent shows have been really good. So we'll see. Fan feedback, Matt. Now, you've been preparing this week.
I have. I did my research.
You told me you've been preparing. Matt normally leaves it until I tell him on the show to get the live response about what the questions are. However, this week he's chosen to deviously look up all the questions beforehand, so he's prepared. I'll be expecting amazing answers from you then this week, shall we?
That wouldn't go that far.
Oh, the pressure's on now. More Reindeer says that he loves the podcast. Well, we love you. Take that. Yeah. Weren't expecting that, were you? Yeah. Anyway, he asks if we think Daniel Bryan should throw in the towel after his latest injury. Yeah, this is the news. The reason I didn't put this in the news is because we got this hard question here. So.
Well, also we'll probably mention it as a result of Raw.
Yeah. Now. Word is, over the UK tour, Bryan got injured. That is the brunt of the news. No one really knows the extent of the injury. They've kept it quite under tabs since the actual,
Did he get injured, or was it just sort of like he's working a bit like he's hurting?
Yeah, I think they pulled him for whatever reason. Now, now what we've heard since then, through the grapevine, through somewhat trusted sources, is that he's going to be out for the better part of just over a month, which obviously isn't nearly as bad as the injury he had last year, but still, right? Let me answer the question first, and then we'll talk about the injury, because the question is quite easily answered. No, I don't think he should throw in the towel, at least not yet. The guy is shown at the moment to be quite injury prone, but this is just a month-long injury, so hopefully he can get it cleaned up and just move on after that. But I would be worried, right? So not throw in the towel now. If he gets another long-term injury, then I think he should.
Yeah.
Now, the reason being for that is, look at this from WWE's perspective, right? I'm going to say this is going to upset a lot of Daniel Bryan fans, and it upsets me to say it because I'm a Daniel Bryan fan. Daniel Bryan isn't going to be champion again for a long while, if at all.
Yeah.
And you know the reason for that, Matt. Just outright.
Well, sort of like, will we have to take it from him again?
Yeah, that's exactly.
Can we afford to do that?
Yeah. If we give him the title again, we're running the risk that this guy gets injured. And then we lose all of our plans.
Are we going to have to sort of snatch it away from him again?
Yeah. And I guarantee that when they pulled him from this, or he's been injured even for the short amount of time, the thought did run through their head, WWE's head, regarding, shit, are we going through this again? Do we have to take the Intercontinental belt off him? Can he just not hack this anymore? I'm sure, even if it was for a minuscule moment, that ran through their head. Might even still be running through their head now. So, what is going to happen? Now, he might work a small match, as you say, he might work Hurt, just to drop the belt to Barrett. Maybe go away for a month, come back, get his rematch, take the belt back, something along those lines.
Yeah.
Because they knew this on Raw and they still announced the match. So I still think there's a chance he could work the match, have a quick match. Maybe someone interferes, costs him the belt. That way you write him off for a while. And then he can come back and get his rematch when he's a little bit healthier. Maybe doesn't even have to wrestle any of the matches over the next month, but, does promos announcing his rematch for the IC title. You kind of get where I'm going for this. That he can still be involved.
There's ways.
Not in any matches. That's fair enough.
Yeah.
However, man, I want to bring this up to you. This isn't something a lot of people thought. Back when Bryan was injured over those 8, 9, 10 months, or however long, a long time, we said that when he comes back, he will have to change his style. Daniel Bryan, to this point,
hasn't changed a thing.
Yeah. Now, if this injury's got anything to do with the damage that maybe he's done over his body over a period of time, then I would take this, if I were Daniel Bryan, as another message to tone it down. Yeah. Maybe his body's sending a message that I just can't hack this much punishment that you're making me do each week.
Yeah.
Especially on like a UK tour where you're doing it every night, essentially. Yeah, that's the bottom line of it. Sometimes your body tells you when it can't take too much. Whether or not Daniel Bryan can accept that and say, okay, you know what, I'm happy giving 70% of Daniel Bryan each night so I can get through the next year. Or Daniel
It's like
Bryan.
the one thing that's like it was Jericho's podcast with Bryan, and it was his recent one. But it was just sort of just saying like, but still, a 70% of Bryan is still better than 100% of a lot of some others.
Yeah. No, we've said that on this show.
Yeah.
We firmly believe that 70% of Daniel Bryan is better than 95% of the roster in the ring. He's that good, technically. This is worrying, though. It is worrying. I don't think Daniel Bryan should retire. I think that's going too far at this point. But to, Mulrain's point here, it is worrying because one more big injury is all that stands between him and really just leaving him out for good. For his health. Yeah. So it is worrying. I don't see WWE putting enough stock in him to make him a big-time champion again. I think...
Well, I sort of worry just sort of how long until he just gets the Edge deal, where it's just like, you've got to.
Yeah, at the end of the day, they make the decision for you. I hope he's not close to that. I hope this is just, just coincidence, bad timing, whatever. But we hope it's that case. Because we like Daniel Bryan. That's the reason we want to see him wrestle.
That's it.
Kane St. Dennis asks, what is our favourite finishing move? He thinks the Red Arrow is the best looking, but his favourite would have to be the curb stomp. Well,
has to be so your favourite is now the Red Arrow.
Yeah, essentially. I feel bad for you, Kane, this week. Must not have been great news for yourself. My condolences to the curb stomp. I would give it a minute's silence, but that would make the podcast a little bit shit, so we'll carry on. Do you want to go first, Matt? What's your favourite of all time? What's your favourite of all time and your favourite now? Oh, wow, I'm up in the ante for
I'm going to go with the Tombstone Pile Driver,
Okay.
favourite of all time.
Yeah.
Because I think it was that proper, I think it gave more of us in a story sense.
Plus, it was a move that there's very few moves now, and even the Tombstone's down a bit. It was one of those moves when it was hit, you knew the match was over.
Yeah, that's it. And I mean, especially sort of like when done at Mania was sort of like, or even not necessarily at Mania, but sort of like the way it was always done, just sort of like the arms across the chest. And it's just sort of like the whole move just became, I'd hate to say, it's like as part of the gimmick, because, it should do. But I think it became so much more.
Yeah. I would state that Kane gets away with it because he's the brother of The Undertaker, but it would be very hard for anyone else to use the Tombstone going forward after Undertaker.
That's it. I think it's good. It would be done.
Yeah, I think that... And as you say, like the whole deal of it's just a pile driver. Isn't that much of a big move, but because of the way it's been done over the years, I think that's a fine pick. What do you think? I mean, technically he's around now, so you could still take the Tombstone now, but do you have anything else?
But I wouldn't go nowadays. I wouldn't count...
You wouldn't count Undertaker as now, would you?
I wouldn't count him as active.
Fair enough, yeah.
But now, I can't really say. There's not. I like the Red Arrow is beautiful. But there's not that many. I can't honestly say. I have been racking my brain trying to think of like nowadays, but I think a lot of them are less of a move and more of just a big Uber strike.
Yeah.
Like the bro kick, or like you've got the bull hammer.
Yeah, or like now they've dumbed down the super kick, whereas back then it used to be like a huge move that would be your
that's it. But there's less of sort of like the big show in a finisher.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I've got two. I've got one of all time and one now.
Yep.
My one of all time, just for how one person sold it, is the Stone Cold Stunner.
So what do you mean? How one person sold it? A lot of people have sold it.
But
So
one person sold it better than anyone, and his name is The Rock.
yeah,
Whenever The Rock, go back and watch it, guys. Whenever The Rock would take a stunner, some people would, just flop onto their back. Some people would fall into. Some people might even bounce along the ring. The Rock fucking went everywhere when he sold the stunner, as if he was literally electrocuted. Like that's the way he got.
like just fitting from it. Yeah.
So yeah, if my one's the stunner, because obviously I was a huge Austin fan back in that time.
Yeah.
And stunner was and the stunner is also one of those moves that you could kind of, it wasn't so much out of nowhere or anything like that, but it could be done very quickly.
Yeah.
And it got a huge fan response and everything in regards to that. I remember Austin saying that one of the things that he was kind of upset about when he broke his neck was he wouldn't be able to use the stunner in that match against Owen Hart. So, because that's all, all those people have bought a ticket for him to stunner Owen Hart, and, he got the win, but still.
It's like, no, afraid not.
Yeah.
Oh.
I like the stunner. And the fact now that John Cena's doing this, just this awful springboard stunner each week. Ooh, it's not nice. But still,
Apparently Austin's not happy with it.
Yeah, well, no, he's apparently not happy with it being used as a setup move. That's what he said.
Yeah.
But still, my one now, I'd have to go. Finally enough, because of this week, it was a bit of a reminder. The RKO.
Yeah.
For its, I hate to say it, but it's out of nowhereness.
Sort of go with the vintage and.
Yeah, I mean, how many times he's been really inventive with that RKO over the last.
Yeah.
God knows how long. So
that which is true.
Yeah, so yeah, I'd probably go with the RKO because there's not many moves at the moment that invoke the same sort of response. When sometimes he lands these RKOs and they're just mental, of springboards or off the top rope, or in Rollins' case, flinging off the top of Orton's own head.
Off Orton himself.
Yeah. The fans, when some people hit a finisher, it's like, oh, when Orton does it, it's like, oh my god, did you just see that? And people want to see it again, so it's an
unfortunately, when that happened, that happened at UK Raw, I was taking a piss.
Yeah, you missed that, yeah. And you're still there for Tyson Kidd fucking up, so there's that.
Yeah.
So yeah, Stunner, RKO, and it's quite funny, isn't it? Because considering they're all they are from the difference of each other is one person sits down.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it, so.
Hold your neck, fall.
Hold your neck, that's it.
I think it's because there's no grandeur, like, nowadays. I mean, the other thing is, like, say a finisher, but would that also include a submission?
Yeah.
So I think the Hell's Gate is a really good submission move. I think it's because it looks like it's really quite intricate, and it looks like it really hurts.
It's because it's an MMA move.
Well, yeah, exactly.
So it does fucking hurt, yeah.
Yeah.
If locked in properly, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like the best, like one of the best submissions in WWE at the moment is Paige's Scorpion Crosslock. That legitimately looks like she's about to rip, like Mortal Kombat style, rip the torso out from their legs. That's what it looks like. So some of them do look painful. Some of them are just ridiculous, to be honest. Like Cena's STF at times looks quite comfortable. Looks like I could do that.
I think it's because Cena makes it look comfortable.
Yeah.
It's like, how many times have we seen it? It's just like, look at all that air. Yeah. Like, oh, he's choking him.
Or he's got his arms in a perfect V, so he's not even really like kind of wrapping around their head properly. It looks like Cena's
I think it's just a combination of the fact that because Cena's so massive, his body won't allow him to get close enough to lock it in around the neck properly.
Yeah, I mean, he does it as best as he can. It just doesn't look very good. I think it was quite funny where we had Ambrose against Cena a couple of weeks ago, and Ambrose did a better STF, like far better than Cena does. So, but still, yeah, there's a couple of good finishing moves now. I think one of the main issues in WWE when they're at their big events is that they don't take their finishing moves with as much respect. It's finishing move, kick out, finishing move, kick out.
Yeah.
Whereas back in the day,
narrow though.
Back in the day though, what would be is that they would do the same sort of drama, but it would be about who could land their finisher first. So you might try your finisher tons of times, but you're never able to actually hit it until the moment where you do hit it, and that's the end of the match. Whereas you look at the Cena Rock match at WrestleMania 29. literally the last 10 minutes of that match where I'm going to try an AA. I hit the AA, you kicked out. You rock
Yeah.
bottomed
Oh,
me.
really? Well, I'm going to hit the rock bottom. Oh, you kicked out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's reverse out of each other's finisher for 3 minutes and hit it again, then we kick out.
Let me deliver your finisher.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, well, this is kind of getting a little bit, like, it dumbs down the meaning of the finisher itself.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's our choices there. Murish Moore lets us know that he went to the Dublin show, where Finn Balor actually was, and he gave us a rundown of the show, which was good. But he also lets us know as well that the merch store in Dublin was also pretty crap. Which we blasted on the merch store last week at the live Raw. Apparently he arrived an hour and a half early before the show started, and the only shirts that were available were Cena, Reigns, and Ambrose, and they had no Balor shirts on sale at all. Yeah. Considering he was at the show, I think and he wrestled on the show. That is quite shocking.
It's a joke.
That is, isn't it? To be honest.
You mean an Irish guy wrestling in Ireland? We could sell his merch. Nah.
You'd expect them to at very least sell Sheamus gear. I know he's heel now, but still, you're in Ireland.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was very shocked there. I think WWE may be on these tours, they haven't got it clocked in. It's quite easy to figure out. We're in London, we should sell Neville, Page, Barrett, and then we do all the rest around them.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could do your Cenas. I've got no problem with them selling Cena merchandise. Or Reigns merchandise or whatever, as long as they give a selection. They will sell out. They sold out of the Finn Balor shirts so quickly at London, it was stupid. Yeah, so yeah, we said back then that the talent should be having an ear in the management and saying, look, stock more of my shit, because every person that comes to this merch store and says, you know what, I would rather have bought a Finn Balor shirt, I would rather have bought a Bray Wyatt shirt, a Dolph Ziggler shirt. That's money out of those talents' pockets.
That's it.
That's money that is there, and WWE are like, okay, well, we've got Cena shirts. Here you go, have a Cena shirt. And people are like,
yeah,
no.
but why would exactly? Why do you want these things? When look, Cena shirts, and they're going cheap. That's because they're the old one. Yeah, but cheap.
Yeah. Oh, it was. I was actually genuinely quite shocked. I thought for the biggest wrestling company in the world, I was very, very shocked.
But especially considering if this is I get it's a foreign tour, so maybe they don't have the same extent. But it's is that what it's like at a US live event?
Yeah, I hope it's not. For the talent's sake, if anything. Yeah, I was quite shocked. I mean, as you said there, Matt, one thing you could say is that they don't want to bring over, maybe it's too. They're not sure if they're going to sell them all out or anything.
Yeah, they got to try and get it. If they don't sell it, they're going to bring it all back again.
To me, I think it's just stupid because you're going to sell out of those shirts. I guarantee you that Finn Balor probably would have sold double the amount of shirts if they had stocked them.
Yeah,
because we weren't the only people that showed up very early to the event, asked for a Finn Balor shirt, and told, all we have is a couple of mediums left. I was lucky to get a medium shirt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We were there very early.
I was on it. Always felt like the guy was going to laugh in my face. We're going back onto last week, but it's just the guy was going to laugh in my face when it's just XLs?
Good luck with that. And then you told him to fuck off. Yeah. Which I love, by the way. Don't want to sound bad or anything. Matt didn't say fuck off to him. He said fuck off to the situation. And you're like, oh, fuck off.
Yeah.
Because didn't he say to you, we only have Cena? And you're like, fuck off. No, I'm not having Cena.
Yeah.
So, memories of London. So that's all the questions this week. We did have more comments and stuff, which is fantastic, and that's great. And what I will do is that any of the questions that you leave on our Twitter handle and also in the comment section below, as always, will get featured on the show. And you guys always ask such great questions. I'm wondering how long you can keep it up for, because this is my favourite segment of the show, I'm just going to say it from there. So, yeah, leave the comments down below, any questions. And if you're new and you think, maybe you won't pick my questions. If you're new and you leave a question, and if it's a good question, it's going to get answered on the show. Yeah? You ask some of the newer guys that have left questions before. We answer the questions. We love doing it. I think sometimes we get so many questions, we just make it into an hour-long segment. We've done that sometimes before, so
yeah,
we get it. To our news segment, Matt. Are you ready for this?
The new one.
Put on your professor cap. I put mine on. Looks snug. We are going to be giving our NXT report card. And we will be looking at 3 of the developmental talent this week. And we will be giving a grade on how they're doing. And we will be talking about them in general, where we think they can improve, and if they need improvement at all. Some of them maybe not so much. Maybe already ready to go. We'll be doing this each week. Sometimes we'll do 2, sometimes we'll do 3. And if you have any preference on which NXT talent you want us to talk in some sort of depth, then leave that in the comments as well. We'll definitely listen to that. So just say, oh, wouldn't it would be great.
What
if
about
you...
Ty Dillinger?
Yeah, just ask us, what do you guys think about them? We'll put it in the NXT report card. This week we have 3. We have Dana Brooke. My oh my, do me and Matt have a few things to say about Dana Brooke. We have Alex Riley and Kevin Owens, who were in their match this week, the main event of NXT.
I haven't seen the main event yet.
But you know enough about both guys at the moment. So
yeah.
That's right. So, we start with WWE's newest diva, Dana Brooke. She debuted 2 weeks ago.
Last week?
Yeah, it was last. Yeah, sorry. I'm getting wrong. Not the last episode. I'm getting my fucking dates mixed up now. Yeah. She debuted, whatever, right?
Recently.
She beat Blue Pants in a match, and she had like a backstage segment this week. Now, for people that caught NXT, you kind of know where I'm going with this because it was so blatant. Dana Brooke isn't very good. She's extremely green. I don't think she grasps what wrestling is. And I don't mean that, she doesn't even know what wrestling is. No, what I mean is what character she needs to be and how best to portray that to the fans.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is that it looked like she was scared to stop moving. And sometimes that's a bad thing, right? At any moment that Dana Brooke wasn't doing anything, for instance, people walk down the ramp, they're not really doing anything. She took that moment to essentially molest herself.
Yeah. And
it was, to such a degree, it became very awkward and uncomfortable to watch.
Yeah, that much is true.
She is green as goose shit. Her match was bad against what we know is a good wrestler in Diva Bates, Blue Pants. Yeah, and to be honest, I don't think she knows how best to do her line of work.
Yeah, be who she needs to be.
Yeah.
I think it's just sort of like I don't know how many times I can see her flex her muscles.
Yeah, it was either she was rubbing her body and, like I said, damn near molesting herself. If there was a stripper pole in front of her, it would have looked out of place. Yeah. She could have been walking down like that with the Godfather in front of her. She would look like she was exactly in the right place.
That's it.
Yeah. And that's literally the 2 things that she has. She'll rub herself up and down, and then do flex her muscles, right, or whatever, right. And
I mean, her little flip thing's quite impressive, but we already have a blonde diva who does a flip thing, and she's much better than Dana.
And we also have a blonde diva who wears black and pink.
Well, yeah, exactly.
So something will change with Dana Brooke because listen, right? She's new, right? This is developmental. She's not a good wrestler, nowhere near close. I don't think she understands what it takes to be good at this point. She's that new.
Yeah.
The character she is can work if she really figures out how to best portray that to the crowd, which she doesn't know at the moment.
That's it.
And she made what was a very experienced female competitor look very, very bad.
Yeah.
So...
But then we were talking about this before, and I thought Blue Pants looked bad in that anyway.
That's what I mean. I mean.
Not even through Dana's, just thought, some things that Blue Pants was doing, I was like, nah.
Yeah, sometimes, when you're working with someone that doesn't know much, I'm not absolving her. She probably had just about a performance, but it's all about how 2 people mesh in the ring, and Dana just didn't mesh at all. Let's be honest. But we know Blue Pants can do better. We've seen her do really good matches before, inside and outside of WWE. We have seen her stuff. Yeah, by the way, if anyone doesn't know of Leva Bates' work, just go check out. She's a really good wrestler. She's used as enhancement talent on NXT, but she is really, really good.
Yeah,
She's good for the role that they play her in. So, um, yeah, my advice to Dana Brooke: tone it down, stop molesting yourself.
that's
Um,
it.
you're not there to masturbate. You're there to wrestle.
Stop flexing. Well,
Yeah,
like a little bit of flex, you know. That's all. That's all well and good. We know that you were there at the Andre event.
yeah,
Like we know that
yeah. Like for instance, if you really
the
want to do
Andre event, the Arnold event.
yeah, no, but if you want to do the arm flex, you do it once on the ramp. You do it once at the end of the match. Done.
Maybe like in once you're in the ring, sod it. I'll even allow for that. But
Hell, if she really wants to do it, then maybe she should do this. If she's supposed to be this dominant diva, maybe she has a finishing move that lays them out. She puts one foot on them and then does the arm flex as she pins them. Heel style.
yeah,
Perfect. She could do it then. But don't do it every 5 minutes when you don't know what to do. And don't, in the meantime, fucking almost give yourself an orgasm by rubbing yourself up and down. Yeah.
that's it. I love me.
Like, I know she's a heel. She's supposed to love herself. But
Is she meant to be a heel?
yeah,
That really wasn't portrayed for me.
I think she's meant to be a heel. She's because it's just the typical
Oh,
heel.
she was
I
wrestling
love myself. Oh, look how
Yeah,
strong
well,
I
she
am.
was wrestling against Blue Pants as well, so you know
Yeah, and
you're a heel now.
Blue Pants is loved by the crowd, so that's what I'm going for with that. But my grade isn't good for Dana Brooke this week. It is an F for Dana Brooke. What is your grade?
I wasn't going to go as far as an F, but you know, probably like a D minus.
Oh, well, I'm much a harsher professor than you are, of course. Now, the reason my grade is an F, and listen, I don't want people to go, oh my god, you're being so rag on her early. I'm just evaluating her on what she can have at the moment. She doesn't have that much, but I'm not saying that she can't get better. I hope in a couple of months we put her back on the report card and I go, you know what? She's a solid C now. She's improving. That's good, you know.
Yeah,
But at the moment, with what she's got, and with how she was portraying herself, that's just no good. That has to change.
yeah,
But you'll give her a D minus, maybe for effort. Maybe you're a bit nicer.
yeah. Like, good job.
Good job, good job. Next on the list, Alex Riley on the NXT report card. He's faced Kevin Owens for the second time. He lost for the second time. Sorry for that spoiler, Matt, but you
It's like I needed it spoiled.
Yeah, it was to Kevin Owens, of course. So,
Yeah.
Despite that, and also his somewhat questionable Twitter posts he's putting up every now and then, which doesn't exactly endear himself, I'm going to shock people and say I actually enjoy this incarnation of Riley.
Like the anger, Riley. Yeah,
If you're going to do the anger, rage Riley, then that could fail really badly. The fact he's doing it and he's going full kilter, as in his veins are bulging out of his neck when he's shouting all this stuff in the ring, and he comes out as if he's like, he's all pent up. Fair enough, go full intense. I want more intense characters in my wrestling shows. I've had enough of my El Toritos and my bunnies. I want a guy who goes out there, maybe, he's been losing a lot, but he's just full of this pent up rage, and he can at least get that over as his character trait. Like he's going full filter for it. He's jacked up. He's probably in better shape now than he was back in his Miz days.
yeah, I could agree with that.
But at the very least in terms of muscular. Maybe he's less athletic now. But he can still put off a good drop kick. He can still bump okay. He's getting slowly a little bit better as as Kevin Owens basically just grinds all the ring rust off of the guy.
Yeah.
And I much prefer him in the ring than I do him announcing. What's your thoughts on Riley?
I like Riley. I've always liked Riley. And yeah, I can completely agree with you. I think he's better this time round. I'm just happy with it.
With the way that things are going for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm
more than happy. Like, it's not like I'm going to go giving him an A for this, but...
Yeah, obviously now he should be done with Owens. Right? He's proved that at very least he's not going to bow down to an ass kicking. He'll just go for anyone he wants to. If they're really going to put stock in him and they're really going to okay, we want to build you up, then he needs to go away from Owens and start fighting people closer to his level. Because let's face it, he was always going to lose to Owens, and he should. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do see some potential with Riley in this current format that he's doing, and I like the intense nature of the of the character he's portraying. I like it. It's
Yeah.
entertaining to me. So I give Riley a B
Yeah.
in my grade, and I think that's quite fair. Still lots of improvement, but I do like what I'm seeing, so I'll give him a B. What about you?
I would go C, but
Oh, wow.
I really need to like. It's like you say, like loads of improvement. So really, there's not a lot of improvement between a B and an A.
Right, well, to me, there is. Maybe that's just the way we think. That's the way we grade, Matt. So you give him a C, I give him a B. Maybe closer to a B minus, shall I say? I'm not saying that. I was thinking B minus, but I decided to settle on a B. Yeah, I just like where it's going from here on out. Now, this could fail quickly in a couple of months. We could say, oh, wow, that didn't work very well. Now he's back down to a D. You know what I mean? But for me now, I think he's a B. He's a good, solid B. Not a B plus player, but he's a B. That's
Yeah.
And a C for you. Kevin Owens. Talk of the devil. And we shall talk about him, of course. Everything that I would state, this is going to be just us praising Owens. Everything that he says and does feels like it's real.
Yeah.
I think, when I think of Kevin Owens, I don't think of a man playing a badass. I think of a badass.
He is a badass, yeah.
Yeah. He's a great heel. Good talker. He has a different sort of promo style than other people do. He's a little bit more nonchalant, but he's a little bit more... he makes it seem less scripted with the stuff that he's coming out with, which I do like. His in-ring abilities speak for itself. He has a very dominating and attack-focused
Physical,
move.
yeah.
But with everything he does, he's safe. You know, from a technical standpoint.
Yeah.
You know, he looks like he's killing Sami Zayn, but he's not really killing Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn's fine, but it looks like he's doing it, and that's the important thing. Whenever he looks like he's in the ring beating the crap out of Alex Riley, it looks like he's doing exactly that, but he's everything is where it should be with Owens. That's what you get for wrestling, the amount of time that you have with the amount of different people that he has.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know how to slam lots of people of different sizes, and obviously he knows how to slam Sami Zayn because he's been doing it for the better part of 10 years, but all that aside.
The same as like Neville, like it's sort of like he's worked Neville before.
Yeah.
Like around the world before even coming to NXT, and that's the one thing is sort of people seem to not forget, but it's just sort of like it's probably, if anything, like the one good thing about NXT is the fact that all of these people have wrestled together. It's not like, oh, and this is where they've the first time they've ever met. Like a lot of the top 5 of NXT, I mean, like I need to say who they are.
Yeah.
Have all wrestled each other over the years.
Yeah, and they know how to have a good match with each other.
Yeah.
Any combination of those guys will work well. One thing as well, I think he's a great champion for that brand, and I also think that since he's coming to the company...
He's the NXT Lesnar.
He is the NXT Lesnar, and
especially considering he's also, I don't fight for nothing, like I fight for a prize.
He fights for the most amount of money that's available.
That's it.
You know what? When you say that he's the NXT Lesnar, if you look at the comparisons, obviously Lesnar is this huge name. He's jacked up. You know, if you put Lesnar next to Owen, you still think that Lesnar's going to do some serious damage. But Owens will always be a better talker than Lesnar could ever hope to be.
Yeah.
And that plays to his strength astronomically. It's not hard to book Owens. You just let him do his work, and he'll do it fantastic each week out. And he hasn't put a single foot wrong since he stepped into the WWE.
Oh, not at all.
Foot. So that, I would state, he hasn't put a single foot wrong. He's one of the most entertaining guys on the roster. He's safe, but he looks like he's a badass and looks like he's killing people. That ticks all the grades for me to give him an A-star.
Oh, yeah.
And he's one of the few people on there that gets an A-star. And there ain't many. I think there's probably one more for me that gets a A-star. Lots of A's, but 2 A-stars for me on this show. And he's one of them.
Yeah.
So, I take it you're giving him the same thing. The same grade.
Yeah. 100%.
Listen, if he's given us no reason to think that this guy won't do really well, then we have to give him the top marks. That's the way it goes. So A-star...
He's just I don't use the term so subtly, but he's been perfect.
You could say he's been best in class. Oh, yeah, you
Yeah,
like it. You like it, don't you?
you can go with that.
Yeah, that's it. A star for Kevin Owens. He is our best in class for this week. When he's beating the likes of Alex Riley and Dana Brooke wasn't exactly hard, but still, I have to label that as well. But yeah, I would be shocked if Kevin Owens has a bad week because I tell you what, so far he hasn't. So
No, not at all.
I remember back when we started, I said that Owens was going to be one of these guys that would either do really really well or he would just not go anywhere
Sink.
at all.
Yeah.
I'm glad that he's the first.
Yeah.
So. Let's get into our Raw review this week. It's been good that we got through all those earlier segments and we're almost through an hour of the show. I like that.
Jesus.
Raw this week was the go-home show for Extreme Rules. WWE's last chance to plug the free month of the network that they've been doing all this week.
I kind of hated it. Because they're just like, oh yeah, and the rest of April. It's like, there's not a lot after April.
Yeah. Well, no, they've been plugging it all this time, and they will too, because they're trying to save people from clocking out over the WrestleMania period and all that lot.
Yeah.
But one thing I will say about the Extreme Rules card, and obviously we're going to run down that later with the predictions, is that the card isn't that exciting.
No.
It looks pretty shit, if I'm honest.
Well, it's just, it kind of goes on the fact that's like, I'm one of the believers that we should no longer have Extreme Rules.
Yeah, and I would probably agree with you in that sense. And the reason being for that is... Oh, tell me your reason, or what you think that should be.
I don't think there's a place for it in PG WWE.
Uh,
I think it's because they're just like, oh, it's just going to be a night where we've got loads of stipulations. It's like,
you hate the fact that it's dumbed down. It's not really extreme. Is that what you're trying to say?
It's not extreme, and it's just, I just don't think there's a place for it anymore.
The reason why I dislike
I like stipulations.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I love a stipulation match. But I think just a whole pay-per-view where it's just like, and then we're going to have this match, and then we're going to have that match. And I was like, but you're just doing it just to fill it.
Yeah. You're just putting it in there for the sake of putting it in there, yeah.
It's like, oh, we're going to have a Chicago... It's just like, well, I was just about to say that, and I was like, I love the fact that we're having a Chicago street fight between Ambrose and Harper. That right there, that makes the ECW fan of me smile.
But then you think, how far are they really going to go with their...
But how far can they go?
Yeah.
I know. But like, we're going to have a Russian chain match. You mean a strap match?
Yeah. Oh, we're going to talk about that match.
I know, but it's just sort of like, it's a stipulation just to fill a stipulation. Rather than serves a purpose to drive the story, like a classic Hell in a Cell.
Yes, no, I agree. And one of the parts that we dislike about the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view is that you're putting Hell in a Cell matches for the sake of just having them there, which doesn't work either. The reason why I think Extreme Rules should probably take a back seat is WWE's insistence of selling it as the only night of the year that WWE goes extreme.
Yeah.
So you don't count TLC as that? Maybe
that's it.
Not Hell in a Cell? Are those not extreme?
Yeah.
Maybe it's their branding needs to change a bit. No, I kind of...
Hell, we had like, oh, we're having a Chicago street fight. Right. What did Ambrose and Wyatt have a lot of? Like, the one thing they were showing, WWE released on their YouTube recently, and it's just like, top 10 most extreme moments. Do you know how many of them were on Raw?
Yeah.
Like, do you remember Ziggler and Sandow having that band match or whatever?
Oh, yeah.
Where they had drums. That was on Raw. Like, Ambrose jumping off a bloody corner post, like, pretending he can fly on a broom. That was on SmackDown.
Yeah. Yeah, and it dumbs down that concept, doesn't it, really?
Yeah. Night. Bullshit.
Yeah. That's it. Like I said, it's I just find their branding of it to be hilarious. Every time I hear the only night of the year that WWE goes extreme, it's like you had an ambulance match not that long ago, like which you just put up and featured on your Facebook page because one of the Grey's Anatomy characters died. So I hate it when they do that.
But don't forget, it's gonna get extreme.
Yeah, the only night of the year that WWE gets extreme, just crazy. Still. Even in regards to that, even if it wasn't, take all the stipulations away, just put the card people against people. I don't think that card looks very good, but that's just my thoughts.
Oh, there's definitely one that I can think of.
There's a few matches that I'm like, ugh, but We'll get in there.
There's one,
Mm.
especially in Chicago. The fools.
Oh, yeah. But we'll get into that, obviously, as we go through.
Yeah.
Right. So, this event was from Albany, by the way. It's their first show since their first, televised show since the London stuff and SmackDown and all that.
Yeah.
Randy Orton kicks off the show. He's got a cage which is now around the ring, and he opens up his promo by calling Rollins a dumb bastard, which is quite nice. He says that his greatest weapon isn't the RKO, and I was like, of course it's not. It's a punt, but he's not going to say that.
Yeah.
He says the match will be slow and agonizing for Seth Rollins. Just
like a Randy Orton promo.
Do you know what's quite funny? You've made that joke.
You were just about to say that.
I was about to say just like a Big Show promo.
Okay.
I'm virtually shaking your hand right there. We're on the same path. Yeah, I like
That's
that.
it.
I like that. Yeah, pretty much. Talking of Randy's promo here, his vocal skills are they're okay during this opening segment. I won't dish on them. But this does bring out the WWE World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins. I quite like saying that, actually. WWE World Champion Seth Rollins.
It works well, doesn't it?
I like that. Orton says he doesn't have an anger problem. He has a Seth Rollins problem. And I would count the Seth Rollins problem as releasing nude pictures on Twitter, but we won't go there. That. Rollins says that he can play human chess better than anyone. He can outmaneuver anyone, outthink anyone, and he's the best at everything. Which we've heard him say before. It's the normal heel thing to say.
Yeah,
whatever.
But but don't forget, normal heel thing is for me to be the greatest WWE champion ever.
Yeah, which is obviously, as he says here, which he's going to do. Orton says that considering the RKO is banned for the pay-per-view, he's going to RKO every son of a bitch he sees. And he promises to RKO Rollins before the night is out. So, essentially, the skeleton of the night you remember all those memes? Not those memes, those little video things that were coming out where Randy Orton would slither like a snake and then RKO someone randomly and then with the still images.
When the out of nowhere was going mental, yeah.
So, that's essentially the theme of the night. It would be RKO open night. Everyone gets an RKO. Almost like Oprah, look under your chairs. You get an RKO. You get an RKO. Everyone gets an RKO. And Orton comes out. RKO's all the women standing there waiting for free gifts. I'd pay good money to see that, actually. That would be quite fun. It was an okay opening. I'm alright with it. It didn't last too long, I imagine.
Authority.
Well, it had JJ Security and Rollins. He's authority.
But not quite.
You can't get away with this, Matt.
I'm still stuck on the mindset of no authority is in Triple H and Steph weren't in the ring.
No, they're still part of the group. So maybe you're right. I don't know. Let's our fans decide whether or not I will count this as an authority opening the show if it doesn't have Trips or Steph in it. We'll let them decide. For me, anyway. So. I thought this was okay because at the very least it promoted the main event, and fair enough from there. And like I said, Seth is good at being a good old classic heel, from the ground up. So, delusions of grandeur, egotistical, maniacal.
I am greater than thee.
Yeah, you know what I mean. That's just classic heel. That's the heel I like. That's the way it works. Dean Ambrose versus Luke Harper. Not really a match that really happens anyway.
No.
More of a brawl, because they will have a match at Extreme Rules. But Harper cuts a promo before the match. I was actually quite happy to see him getting a mic. I was like, okay, let's listen to what you have to say. He doesn't really say much. He says, I'm going to basically beat up Ambrose.
Yeah.
Which is a shame, because I actually think Harper has got something, at least on the mic. I would have liked to have cut some sort of promo here. Considering there's been no promos at all about this rivalry, really. But there we are. Maybe because there's no reason this thing really exists. It's just two guys that want to fight each other, which I'd argue they had 4 weeks of television to build up something, really. But there we are.
Yeah.
The match turns into not really a match. It's just kind of, it ends. It's a physical brawl that goes outside the ring. Ambrose gets the better of him. and Harper does make the escape. So Ambrose is the one standing tall at the end of the night. So they will have their match again at Extreme Rules, and they will actually fight each other in regards to that. So in the Chicago Street Fight, which is what you said, earlier on, which is what they're going to have.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know you defended this a little bit last week, Matt. But I still have to say, this is just, to me, just seems so random. This rivalry. I know they've been maybe in each other's way for the last couple of weeks, but come on, like I said, you got 4 weeks of television to at least get a reason these guys want to fight each other. And it's not so much, you power bombed me into a ladder. They were in a match.
Yeah.
At that point, it wasn't as if he did it outside of the confines of the match. I don't know. To me, I just think that all of Ambrose's rivalry is just discerned into, I just want to fight you. And to me, is played out. They need to go something to a little bit more. What's your thoughts on it? Do you defend it a little bit more? Are you just happy to see these two guys fight each other? Or
I'm just happy to see these two fight each other.
I need more of that. I mean, more of a reason myself. So. But still, I can understand the appeal. To me, it's like, are they going to turn this into a 3-month rivalry for no reason? It's just, I think maybe more of the fact it's just what we've seen from Ambrose for months. The rivalry he had with Bray Wyatt that led nowhere. That was for no reason, apart from, I see something in you, Dean, so I'm going to fight you for 3 months and nothing will come of it.
Yeah.
There's just no end goal.
But then nothing came from that either.
Yeah. So, there we go. But still, we're hoping that maybe they can make out something good with this. I know, guys, they won't make a reason for them fighting. Let's just enjoy them fighting. I guess we'll try and enjoy it as best we can.
Yeah.
The matches at the very least will be fun. So I'm guessing that's what you're getting at there, Matt. So
yeah.
Backstage, Rollins is tiptoeing around just in case he gets an RKO out of nowhere. He doesn't get one, at least not.
Blam.
The primetime players jump out at him and give him a scare, but to be honest, I won't blame Rollins for being scared because the majority of people would be quite scared of the sight of Titus O'Neil jumping out at the back of you
and barking
at you. I would be quite scared, so I won't blame Rollins in regards to that. Apparently, with that, PTP scaring the champion, a production worker is laughing. Rollins reminds him that he'll never be in the Hall of Fame. No, sorry, he just kind of tells him.
Yeah.
He didn't say that, but still.
But he could have done.
He could have done, yeah. Rollins gets annoyed at it. Triple H shows up, though. First time we've seen him in a couple of weeks. The Stove's Steph this week, just trips. Then Rollins brings up Kane from last week. The whole thing between them, saying Kane's out of control, even though he seemed quite in control last week, but still. Triple H says, I've got it in control. Rollins wants more security, and Tripp says, well, it's just one guy. He's referring to Randy Orton.
Yeah.
And it's quite funny because Rollins is just like the master of walking into his own words at times. He does it all the time, I'll never trip over this fence. Trips over the fence. I'll definitely not get RKO tonight. You see where this is going. It just happens.
It's like 3, 2, 1, out of nowhere.
From out of nowhere. Yeah, that's it. So yeah, that's just Rollins' part of the thing. One of the things I kind of like from Rollins, I said it last week, is his moment where he realizes things aren't going to plan. It's his oh shit face. Rollins has the best oh shit face in all of wrestling. I love it.
Yeah.
Because they showed the clips of last week of Kane kicking out of the pinfall, the first one, and Rollins just looking at him like shit, like something. It's great. It's awesome. Lucha Dragons versus New Day.
New Day.
Yeah. So they're definitely going heel now, New Day. There's no turning back. I think that's the right thing to do. And of all the things, wow, I'm going to talk about Kofi Kingston again. Are you ready?
Okay.
Me talking about Kofi Kingston?
I'm ready.
Of all the things that I've said about Kofi Kingston in the past, about him being stale, being not being able to pull off any sort of charisma, not being good on the mic, I am finally interested to see what he can do as a heel.
You're what?
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. But listen, right, it's the first time he's been heel in his entire WWE run. Let's see what he can do with it. Maybe, and
This is what he needed.
Maybe, and I'm being optimistic, but I'm hoping this is the best side of Kofi we will see in his entire career. Hopefully. Yeah, hopefully. It'll be quite funny, isn't it? After all these years of him being a face, he finally becomes heel, and it's something like everything clicks, everything works. It just works for the guy. He's a good heel. I hope.
Yeah.
I hope a couple of months down the line, I look at myself and go, he's a good heel. I like him being heel. So,
Yeah.
hopefully we get to that point. Booker T says that apparently Kofi has the most to gain from this match because of how long he's been with the company.
Yeah, I could.
Would you like to try and explain that to me? I didn't understand that at all. How so?
Because he's finally actually, maybe not. I think it's because he kind of does need something. I think he's been with the company for a while, but sort of like it's not been very momentous.
You're saying that a championship would mean more to Kofi in this stage of his career than anyone else? I just thought it was a very stupid statement. Right?
I'd rather see Big E a champion.
Yeah, but I
retract my statements.
The fact is that Kofi winning the belt is just going to be like Kofi winning the belt all the times before. Maybe to Big E or Xavier Woods it means more because it's their first championship. I know Big E was champion before, but first tag team championship. I just thought it was a bit silly. But that wasn't the most brain dead one. No, Booker T doesn't take the award for that this week. Who takes the award for it? JBL. And man, he's got loads of that. And he tells us, are you ready for a fucking bomb of a commentary statement here by JBL? That with his integral and expert inside in-ring experience. Would you like to know what he said in this match, ladies and gentlemen? He said, the key to fighting luchadors is to kick them in the mask because there is a head inside of it.
Yeah. That was the line you were referring to. That was just ridiculous.
Yes. I would not have known that luchadors have heads inside their masks without JBL telling me.
What?
I thought there's nothing there. Even though you can see their eyes.
That's it. Well, maybe not in Sin Cara.
Maybe not in Sin Cara, but you can see their mouth moving. I thought they were just spectral, beheaded, wrestlers who put on the mask and it animates the body to life.
That's it. Just stick it on that torso over there.
I tell you exactly what happens as well. They put all the bodies on a wireless table when they're needed.
Oh yeah, of course, it's got to be the wireless table.
I once said that Booker T's problem is that his mouth is 2 seconds ahead of his brain. JBL, his mouth isn't connected to his brain. That's the problem with JBL. I'd much rather be a little bit late than not there at all. So, yeah. That was a really brain-dead statement, and unfortunately JBL just puts them up all the time. That is your expert in-ring analysis, ladies and gentlemen. Kick, did you know that luchadors have heads behind their masks?
They have a weakness to that head.
Anyway, moving forward from that brilliant piece of commentary, Xavier Woods holds Sin Cara on the outside. This leads to the New Day getting the count-out victory. They are the number one contenders now. They will be facing on the pre-show, I believe, for the tag team championships against Cesaro and Kid. And I thought, fair enough, if you didn't, Lucha Dragons and Rangers come in, it would be a bit. I don't like them getting a title shot yet, as much as I do like them. And if they're going to lose, at least they did it in such a bullshit manner.
Yeah.
They didn't even get pinned. They were counted out by an outside interference. Fair enough. I can take that as a face losing. That's okay with me. And this is like another step now. I won't say that New Day are becoming heel. They are heel. It's just they're gradually educating their fans that they are going to be heel. So that's the thought of it there. However, as New Day are celebrating, Orton comes out and gives an RKO from out of nowhere to two of the New Day members. Just lays them out. So that's his first two of the night. Yeah. Fandango versus Curtis Axel. And that last week with Fandango wasn't just a 1 week thing. He is now face. He will be going face from here on out, as far as I can tell.
Seems it.
He's back to his original music. When he came out, he had his original music. And I thought, as I was thinking this, I was just thinking to myself, why not? Why not try him as a face? He's never been face before. He was going nowhere as a heel. Just do it. Just give him a chance as a face.
Yeah.
At least he gets the crowd into it. One thing I will say, however, they can't Fandango worth a shit over the London crowd. I can tell you that much. Yeah.
It's like, you try. You try so hard.
Oh, Albany. Oh, you tried. You tried.
I don't know whether it's just sort of like a bit biased, but I'm pretty sure like this whole Raw, I was like, UK crowd was better.
Of course it was better because we were there. we made that crowd. You know how it is. You know how it is.
Oh yeah.
Well, I tell you what made that crowd. The guy that dressed up as Dolph Ziggler, but I don't. That was kind of fucking awesome. This match was very quick, as you would expect. Fandango, puts Axel away with the top rope leg drop. Yeah. And then he dances along with the crowd, as I said, the fans.
And then they play his wrong music.
For a little while, then they changed it back.
Just like, hang on, that's Latina. Oh, no.
I imagine someone just clicked the wrong box on a computer, and it was like Fandango 2 instead of Fandango 1 or something, you know what I mean? So. But yeah, fair enough. If you're going to do anything with Fandango, you may as well do it as a face, because as a heel, he was done. All of his steam was spent. So, may as well go with it. Mm-hmm. Who knows? Sorry. Maybe some of our fans are Fandangoing right now. I know I was.
Yeah.
You're that good, man. You're very good. Yeah. You're making me touch myself like Dana Brooke. Oh. Let's not go into that.
No.
Triple H is out to speak about Tough Enough. I was moving away from that shameless pay-per-view plot right now. And he talks about Tough Enough. And this is the announcement that Tough Enough will be starting up again. I actually went and watched the episode of Tough Enough, the last one, which I was quite shocked at. It was like 4 years ago now. It was quite strange. But
was it 4 years ago?
2011.
Big Andy. Oh.
Yeah. But it was the episode with, funny enough, the only one who actually got a job out of that company, the first one who was eliminated.
Fucking Cameron.
Yeah, or Ariana, she's named.
Ariana.
My favourite match is Alicia Fox versus Melina. I laughed.
It's Austin's response. The clenched fists and I can't look at the bitch.
He didn't even know what to say. And you have to say something very fucking stupid to Austin for him not to be able to shout.
Yeah. It's like you've left Austin speechless.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
And even then she was trying to coin terms like divalicious, and I'm like, now she's got terms like girl bye.
Yeah. But don't forget, Tony.
What?
It is thebomb.com.
No. Are you proud? Are you proud of what you just did?
I feel dirty.
I know you're proud for hurting my soul.
I feel dirty.
You feel dirty, yeah. You should, to be honest, but... He says anyway, Seth Rollins is the new face of the WWE, but now it's time to find the next Seth Rollins. And I was like, wow, really? You think Tough Enough is going to do that? You think you're going to find the next...
I was going to say, you've got a wonderful track record.
Yeah. You're going to find the next Andy Levine? Do you guys know who he is? No?
That's it.
No? Exactly. That's the reason why I'm saying it. Andy Levine was the last winner of the Tough Enough, and he went nowhere.
That's it.
So he didn't even last a year of his contract before he was let go. And I know there were some issues there in regards to, I think he got drug tested, or he got busted for probably weed or something. I don't know, but he got busted for something. But still, it makes their show look bad when the winner of the last show got literally nothing. It's like, do you want to be the next
The winner
WWE
of the last show got stunned by Austin, and then that was it.
Yeah. That was literally the entirety of that man's Raw career was being stunned, and apparently people were pissed that he didn't sell it properly. And I was like, well, yeah, he kind of sold it a bit badly, but I didn't see as much of an issue with it as most people did. But still, we'll go from there. Apparently, the differences with this season of Tough Enough, it will be one guy and one girl. It'll go back to the original format where one of each gender will get a contract. So yeah, that's the way it is. They're taking video submissions. I imagine WWE already have a few people in mind who they want to go in and do it again.
That's it.
I just hope
this is where we're going to see a couple of people from the previous Tough Enough creep back. We're going to have Mike again.
Yeah,
Mike.
No, it was Matt, wasn't it? He was
Martin.
Martin.
Matt,
Martin, that was the guy. Yeah,
the one who broke his ankle.
yeah, the guy who Bill DeMott kept calling Donny Osmond, who was really good, who probably
The
would
one
have
who
won
would
it.
have won it.
Yeah, so hopefully he gets another shot because he deserves it. He was actually really good. What's funny, he's got I think it was Evilise in there, who's now doing Lucha Underground, and I think she's doing great for
Yeah.
herself. So yeah, it's just a few people there that they passed on, and it's just like, oh man, still. Even Luke, looking back at it then, the guy who lost the last one,
Pretty
I
boy
thought
Luke.
Luke was the guy that won the last two. He wasn't Addy. He was the
Yeah,
other.
pretty boy.
Yeah, pretty much. But he was really, really good.
Yeah.
I thought maybe they should have given a chance on him, but still, we'll see. However, this brings out Corporate Kane. Triple H says, well, you had a bit too long of a career to try out for Tough Enough, so which is a bit of a joke there. Didn't really go down too well, but still. Kane says he can't deal with the disrespectful nature of Seth Rollins, and he gives his 2 weeks notice from now. So, yeah.
No.
Rollins comes out and, takes exception to Kane's words. He calls Kane a loser. And then Rollins flips what he said last week. Remember what he said? A real man knows when to lay down. And now he just calls Kane a loser. Pretty much for the same thing. But he's a crazy heel, whatever. So
he can be whatever he wants, damn it. He's the champion.
That's it. Kane flips out. Tells Rollins the Authority made him a champion, and if they wanted to, they could have made El Torito. Yeah. And a slice, it was almost like they took a little slice of my utmost wrestling nightmares and put it into that little segment right there. And I'm just glad that a certain Vince Russo isn't still booking in WWE with that statement flying around.
We could do that?
We could make El Torito the world champion. Let's do it now. But only if we swerve people to do it first.
That's it.
Yeah. I'm very glad that isn't a reality, but still. He would have thought, let's make the idea of having a midget as a world champion, he would have booked that shit on the spot right there. You would have made, we're doing this today. We're rewriting the entire show. El Torito is becoming the champion.
Yeah, done.
I'm so glad Russo's not booking in WWE anymore. Let's just be honest. Trips makes Kane Guardian of the Gate, which sounds like a really bad WWE knockoff of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, that's it.
Apparently this is enough for Kane to forget his 2 weeks notice. The man is easily pleased.
It's like, oh, okay. He might still have his 2 weeks notice because, it's this week.
To me, it just seemed like, we'll make you Guardian of the Gate and you'll be fine. That just seemed it to me. I don't know. They might go along with it, but he even shakes Rollins' hand, Kane. Yeah, and so he seems quite happy.
I think it's less of a shake than Rollins touched his hand briefly.
Yeah, that's it. Now, Kane, I believe, will be Rollins' feud next month. So there'll probably be a Kane-Rollins match for the title. It's to tie Rollins over until SummerSlam, until you-know-who comes back. So, yeah, I do see Kane having some sort of interaction in the cage match. And that will... he's not going to cost Rollins the match. Rollins will retain the belt, but it will lead to a Kane-Rollins mini feud, if we can call it that. That's where I see it's going. So, Rollins and Kane then, this is straight after the break, are arguing backstage. They just don't seem happy at all with each other, even though they did shake each other's hand. Tripp says that Kane is no longer fire and brimstone, and Kane says, well, I still am. I'm going to go show you. I would say all the evidence is to the contrary. There's a reason we call him Candy Kane. I'll just leave that. There. Triple H sets up Rollins and Ziggler later in the show and tells him, you better start showing respect for the people that helped you get where you are. Rollins says he's no longer the future, he's now the man. And yeah, I'm kind of glad that they kind of dropping the undisputed future moniker, because he's the WWE champion. In my opinion, you stop being the future when you're the WWE champion, you're the now. So yeah, fair enough. Naomi versus Brie Bella. Now, Naomi's full-blown heel now, as we know. She had a mini video package during her entrance. I know one of our fans said that they were, they quite liked her vocal skills at the moment. I'm not as sold, I have to admit, this one included. But it's not painful. It's not bad. I just don't think it's very good.
Yeah.
So, That's my thoughts on it there. The fans didn't seem to care much about this match. I'm not going to blast the girls for doing so. WWE now has a new thing. If they're really going to jump on this bandwagon and try in terms of giving their female competitors more time in the ring, then they need to re-educate their fans that these are the sort of matches they want to see. Because they've educated us for the last 3-4 years. These are matches you want to have a piss break on. So
Yeah.
it's going to take a while. We said back then, when this whole stuff started, that if you want to fix the Divas division, it's been broken for a long time. It will take that long to fix it. And it's not an overnight thing that will fix it. It will be months upon months of dedication and good booking to get this, this division where it should be. But it won't happen overnight. So I'm not going to blame the talent for fans not really getting that involved, because
I think it's also because I don't care for Brie Bella.
yeah,
She's the weaker Bella. Like drastically as well. It's not even like a little bit. She is the weaker Bella.
You look at it from a storyline perspective. Her sister made her into her bitch, and then afterwards she thanked her for it.
Yeah, and by the end of it, she's happy to be the bitch.
She's happy to be the diva, the Bella without a belt.
Yeah.
Costing her all these matches. I thought it was quite funny, actually, because you got Nikki Bella on commentary, and in the same sentence she's going, well, I haven't had, Brie, basically distracting me and losing all these matches for me. And then literally straight after she says that, after blasting her sister, she'll go, come on, Nick, come on, Brie, come on, you can do it. It's like, come on. Like, literally, you're saying
really?
the same sentence.
I am not buying this.
Yeah, I thought it was quite, well, funny and a bit strange at the same time. But
yeah.
But it's like me basically, me going, oh, come on, Matt, you could do a great podcast after me calling you a demented blue meanie or something like that. It just makes no sense.
Not the meanie.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm so going to do the meanie bop tomorrow.
Yeah, meanie bop, yeah. You're going to paint your body blue, are you, to do it?
I may have to.
May have to, okay. Well, don't show me that video, because
I
don't have much interest in that, sad to say.
Skype call you.
You put it on our Twitter so our fans can
Tony,
see.
there's a video call for you.
Oh, no. You know what? I'm not even going to go and turn on the laptop tomorrow after I've uploaded the... See, I've got to upload this episode tomorrow. Damn you.
You will be around.
Yeah.
You will bear witness to it.
Naomi gets the win. It's not a great match, but as I said, I don't blame the talent too much for that as well. And then moves on to a title shot. She will have the title shot at the pay-per-view, which will happen. Heath Slater backstage. He's telling Rowan that he's going to go win the United States Open title challenge later on tonight. However, the only thing he wins is an RKO from out of nowhere. And that's what he gets for thinking that he was going to have a match with John Cena.
Slater's going to slate.
Slater's going to slate. Just get RKO. Of all the people to try and get a conversation, really, you pick Rowan of all people? I just thought
That's it. Hey, you look like a really chatty guy.
Yeah, still. But it's not as if I imagine that the character of Heath Slater has many friends now that his one friend got stolen back by Darren Young. And it's very sad for Heath Slater. No Slater Gator anymore.
Actually, I was just suddenly just like, where are you going with... Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It clicked for you there, didn't it? Yeah.
It did.
So, we move on to Roman Reigns. Comes to the ring to address his heavily edited beating last week from the Big Show in London.
You fat bastard.
Yeah, that's it. He says that he doesn't feel like talking, he feels like fighting. He doesn't get the Big Show this week, thank God. We will have that torment at the pay-per-view. He gets Bo Dallas instead, which is a shame. Yeah. It's a shame that I had forgotten, basically, that he existed over the last couple of months. It is a shame that is.
Well, especially, I'm pretty sure, weren't we talking recently that Bo Dallas would probably be, released soon? It's like...
It looks like
he's not been on TV for a while, and suddenly out of nowhere, he's getting speared.
Yeah. But I think it's bad for Bo Dallas that him being on Raw and getting speared by Roman Reigns is a good week for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not good. It's good for him, but that shouldn't be good. That's what we're getting at. He says anyway that he says just like in the best Star Wars movie, Episode 1, obviously, that's the one everyone hates. Anger leads to hate leads to suffering. I thought that was quite ironic, considering the best that Bo can pretty much hope for in his career is to be WWE's Jar Jar Binks. So,
Yeah, that's
good
true.
luck, mate. Good luck. But apparently that he still thinks that Reigns can win the WWE Championship if he just believes. Oh, sorry, believes! Because
There we
you
go.
have to say it in that fashion. He also calls him the Tim Tebow of WWE. For people who don't know what that is, Tim Tebow is a kind of sometimes crappy, sometimes okay American football player who got really popular randomly. So.
Cool. Now I know who he
Who
is.
failed to live up to the hype, I think, what he was getting at there. So there's a great song actually done on like ESPN First Take about one of their guys just talking about Tim Tebow. I just love it. It's so funny. But anyway, we're getting off track now. As we said there, Reigns punches Dallas, spears him, and yeah, there you are. Reigns says that he'll be the last man standing this Sunday. I'll tell you what, he'll be the only man standing because the crowd won't get off their seats for this match, I guarantee you. So
No.
they're going to be
See, this is exactly what I was saying. It's like, really? In Chicago?
Yeah, they're going to
Of
shit on this.
all the places they want to do a last... No, it's not the fact that it's a last man standing match.
It's these
Of
two.
all the places they want to do Reigns Big Show again.
This match has such a high risk of being absolutely fucking shit on. It's unbelievable. This match could
risk
be
of. This is going to get shat on.
yeah, it could be an unmitigated disaster. Yeah, to the levels of Orton versus Sheamus. You remember that on the Raw to WrestleMania a couple of years ago? That got fucking diarrheaed on,
Yeah.
right? It got fucking done by the fans. This match could be a dud before these guys even lock up.
Yeah.
That's how much people don't really want to see this match. But still, WWE, they've made their bed, and I can't say that I will find some sort of perverse glee if the fans shit on this match, and I'll be like, well, you should have known, really. But
That's it.
still.
Like, what were you expecting?
What were you expecting? Sheamus versus Zack Ryder. And when I see Sheamus come out, I have to state, okay, I'll hold my hands up. I ruined what is a really good entrance for Sheamus with my statements that it just seems like he's coming in his pants when he...
Really? I still don't like it.
I think his entrance is really good. I just ruined it for myself. So I hold my hands up. That's not WWE's fault. That's my fault. You know?
It's you just being a perverse bastard.
It just seems to me, especially because he closes his eyes. That's the thing. He closes his eyes.
It's like,
when he
fella!
Fella, and he looks so happy and he's sweating and it just looks like, yeah, he's just ejaculating.
Finished.
Yeah, that's it. The thing about Zack Ryder, we'll talk about Zack Ryder for a bit, is that his character is actually a moron. Would you like to know why?
No. What is it, gun?
You said no. I'm not going to tell
I know, I did say no. I don't know why I said no.
you. Fuck you. I won't tell you that.
So, you shut up.
Well, I'm going to tell you anyway.
Don't insult Ryder.
Yeah. Now, the reason why his character is actually a moron is because he comes out with the look as if he's genuinely, one, happy to get his shit kicking from Sheamus, and two, he's got a legitimate chance of winning the match. You would think that, at this point, the character of Ryder would realise, whenever I'm on Raw, I lose.
Guess what? Yes, guess what? I'm going to be dicked.
Yeah, especially against Sheamus of all people. Come on. Did he forget the quick match that happened for the WWE Championship years ago? Ryder's only WWE title shot, which happened on Raw. It was just like bro kick, pin, done.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah. This match was pretty much the same. Bro kick, except that Sheamus decided to toy with him for a little while at least. So
Yeah, just mess with him.
He's just basically messing around with the guy, just kind of, throw him all. I tell you what, him doing this, I thought was okay. I actually thought that this heel Sheamus stick can work if he's like a proper bully. I just think that, unfortunately, I think they're giving him a mic too much. He should be more physical than he is vocal, and it's not that off. I just think the balance needs to be amended a little bit. But I think Sheamus doing what he is at the moment is okay. I don't like the match he's in, which is the Kiss Me Arse match with Dolph Ziggler.
Kiss me arse. It's like, oh no.
Which will obviously lead to Dolph Ziggler taking one for the team and kissing Sheamus's white keister, but still, let's get on with that.
I don't know.
Ziggler interferes with the match, causing a DQ win for Sheamus, but saving Ryder. But yeah, there you are. Kiss me arse match. There you
I
go.
say saving Ryder like he was already getting dicked. It's like saving him. He was already pretty beaten by this point. He
One
just
thing,
didn't get another brogue or
yeah,
something.
one thing that will go to the point you said earlier on about Extreme Rules is that a lot of these stipulations weren't announced. Like the Kiss Me Arse one on Raw wasn't announced, so people could argue it was done on SmackDown. SmackDown's an irrelevant show, so I don't care what happens on SmackDown.
Yeah.
But the fact is that they just kind of lean around. Oh, by the way, guys, did you know they're in a Kiss Me Arse match? Why? Why are they in a Kiss Me Arse match?
I
Why
was
is
gonna say that just doesn't sound like the sort of stipulation that you'd have for this sort of match. It's like Sheamus just wants to beat the shit out of the little people, as he has been referring to them.
yeah?
So it's like, so why is he going into a match where they'll be kissing asses?
Maybe that kind of thing gets him off. I don't know. Maybe that's the thing that makes him shout fella and close his eyes. I don't know.
Just imagining little people kissing his ass.
Yeah, maybe. Sheamus could be a weird dude. We don't know. He likes to braid his beard. So
True.
barbarians are into weird shit. We don't know.
Guess so.
Man, the Sheamus pay-per-view plots on this, Jesus, man. It's just we need to tiptoe
You
away from
started
a lot of them, don't you? I do. I know I do. I hold my hands up, but still. John Cena versus Kane. Cena takes the mic before the match. He asks if Albany has something left in the tank. And all I have to say is, John, it's quite a difference from the London crowd, isn't it? You didn't have to say that shit to London. We were giving you everything.
That's it.
So there's that.
It's like you're the reason why we had nothing left in the tank for everyone else.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. He reminds us, however, that the chain match, the Russian chain match they'll be having, that, as you said there earlier, Matt, they will have to touch all four corners of the ring, all the turnbuckles, to win the match. I personally hate this type of match. I think it sucks.
I hate strap matches.
Yeah. I think it actually destroys a lot of the natural drama of a wrestling match. I remember...
I'm just trying to think, who was the last... Wasn't the last strap match? Like, the last one I actually remember was JTG and Shad.
Oh, man, that's a long time ago now. Oh, Jesus.
That's the last one I actually remember.
I can't remember any recent ones. The one I remember most famously, the strap match, is the one that Hogan had, but he didn't understand the rules, so he tried to pin his opponent.
Yeah.
That was funny, and he legitimately didn't realise what was going on until the ref actually said, I actually had to show him, this is what you tab on things, and he kind of looked at it like, what?
Oh!
What? So, yeah. Strap matches, not a big fan, because, in general, they suck. In general. So, I've yet to remember, off the top of my head, a good strap match that is done in this fashion. I don't mind two wrestlers being strapped together or chained together, as long as it's a pinfall type match. The tapping of the fucking turnbuckles to me sucks. I don't like it at all. It destroys a lot of the natural drama of a match. But there we go. I toned out of this promo. It was much of the stuff we've already heard from Cena's promos. You know, his usual card, you know, that he likes to play every now and then.
The champ is here!
Here, as he says it. Kane, of all people, comes out to accept the challenge, which, you know, apparently this is going to show that he's full of fire and brimstone. I didn't really get that much from this match, but still. This match is the worst of the open challenges that they've had. It's still an okay match, but it is the worst of the open challenges that he's had over the course of the month. And if they're going to they're going to do this book, the rebirth of Kane, they need to hit a home run with it, because anything less than that, and people are just going to be like, I'm not really into this guy, but we'll see. Because he's a loser. Rollins is right when he says Kane's a loser. Kane loses matches.
Yeah.
He's like Ambrose. He just loses matches all the time. But
yeah.
Still. Miz is interviewed by Renee Young. Miz there says that he's a superstar, and he's insulted that Sandow would challenge him for his brand. How dare he?
I also think that
I don't think you can challenge people for brands without you accepting. It just seems really odd. Can I challenge, fucking Brad Pitt for his brand? You know, Dr. Dre, can I fight him for his brand? He's got the fucking beats. I want his brand. Can I challenge him and he just has to accept it off kilter? You know?
Yeah, just like, oh, okay.
You know, maybe you want Matt. I tell you what, Matt. You need to go out and challenge Bill Gates for the rights to Microsoft now, because you'd beat the shit out of the guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
That could work.
Yeah. You You keep what you kill mentality, I guess, is what they're going for here. So, anyway, still.
Excellent.
I just see you sitting on a throne of Xboxes, just happy with Bill Gates just broken and beaten below you, but still. What weird tangent we go on sometimes of clones and Cena being a robot
and attacking Bill Gates.
Wow. There's a WWE shitty plot movie there somewhere.
Yeah.
He shows us the Marine 4 DVD, and then Renee cuts him off because there's a different interview with Cena and Byron Saxton. And I'm like, Renee Young now has the ability to sense when Cena is being interviewed. She's done so many interviews with the man.
But wait. I'm touching my head.
Yeah, I feel a tremble in the force. Cena's being interviewed. I can feel it. So she cuts to it there, with Miz is obviously quite upset with that. So, yeah.
Shut up, Miz. Yeah. An actual superstar is talking somewhere.
Which, probably hasn't done any better moves than the Miz has done, but still, we'll go from there. Cena says that Kane coming out was a surprise, and then Rusev shows his surprise by wrapping a chain around Cena's face and pulling it up. And there was a still shot of this attack. So basically what's happening here is that Rusev's got him like in a kind of crude accolade using the chain to wrap his head, right, sort of thing. But like the chain here is literally wrapped around Cena's face, is like, squished his nose up against his face. And at the same time, Rusev doesn't exactly have the most endearing of faces.
It does look a little bit suspect, doesn't it?
It does. So I looked at it, I was like, okay, that's an interesting still shot. But yeah, Cena gets beaten down, and this is the way that WWE likes to do it, is that the person who's going to lose the match gets one over on the winner before the pay per view.
Don't forget that.
Which is what's happening here. Rusev will lose. But there we go. Mizdow versus The Miz. Now, I would like to call this... what's quite funny about this? Miz is the movie superstar, right?
Yeah.
This rivalry is just like movies. The sequel and sequel gets worse every time.
Oh, yeah.
You like that similarity? I like that too.
It's like The Matrix.
Yeah. First one, groundbreaking. Second one, third one, pretty shit. So,
yeah.
WWE have done a great job in making me not want to see Miz against Mizdow ever again. So, there you are.
Especially considering at one point I was like, I can't wait for Mizdow to turn his back on. Now I just
don't want them anywhere close to each other now.
Wish he didn't.
Yeah. Now, commentary, they do this all the time, and I don't mind it, but I just think it's really fucking stupid that they slam The Miz's performance in the Marine 4 and the movie itself. Someone please remind that the Marine 4 is a WWE Studios production.
Yeah.
You fucking idiots. Like, is that Vince McMahon feeding them those lines? It's just like, what?
Tell them it's crap. It's like, but you funded it. Tell them it's crap.
Your own wrestlers are in it, for fuck's sake. Like, and they have, what's funny is that obviously someone got in their ear, because after slamming the movie and The Miz is acting, then they go on to say, oh, but we've pre-ordered it, and you should pre-order it now as well.
Yeah.
Fucking idiots. I don't know. Like, obviously, the movie isn't that good, right? Yeah, it's not meant to be that good. You can tell it's not going to be that good. It's not offensively bad, but it's not going to be good, right?
Behind enemy lines, Colombia.
Yeah, it's not going to be as bad as that, right? But, come on, this is like something that you've made. I just don't understand the logic behind it. WWE have just finally accepted that all their movies are shit. Then stop making movies. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't understand. I don't know. But if you need any further evidence that the commentary is shit, then who am I kidding? There's tons more evidence, so you can find it if you like. But yeah, this is just one of the more obvious ones. Oh, this movie, The Miz is such a terrible actor, and the movie is going to be so bad. But pre-order it because it's a WWE Studios movie.
That's it.
Yay!
Pre-order it because I want money.
Yeah.
And it's just sort of like comparing like Fast 7 to like the Marine. It's just like, really?
Oh yeah, I shook my head. Let's just say that, but still.
It's like, and I reckon like the Marine took the bigger chunk of that money. It's like, yeah, sure it did.
Sure it did. Yeah.
A straight to DVD WWE production. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll accept that. Yeah, fucking idiots, but still. The match was okay. Summer Rae comes out, costs Mizdow the match, as we kind of all saw coming anyway. Miz brags after the match now he has control of his own brand, which I also thought was stupid. And he's going off to go film his movie now with Paige of all people. So yeah, they're doing a movie together. So
forget.
He'll be away gone.
He could be away. Just bring back Paige.
Yeah. But then Miz gets an RKO from out of nowhere, and it's like I said, it is weird because Miz will be going off to film now, so this leads Mizdow to start off from scratch. So I hope that they've got a plan. Hopefully, over the course of this month, maybe they didn't have a plan when they started it, but thinking now they're going to end it. Over the course of the month, they've got an idea, a gimmick, and a character for Sandow to really go forward with. But I am worried. Let's just say that, because
can only hope.
We've always been under the assumption that once this ends for Sandow, WWE got nothing else for the guy. And that is a shame because he is talented. One thing that WWE should take away from all this is that Sandow took their pile of turd and made gold out of it. Yeah, so give him something and he will make it better. Yeah. So there we are. Wyatt is backstage. He gives a cryptic promo as always. He says fear motivates his next target. And he can lift all the weight in. Oh, that target can lift all the weight in the world, but the weight of fear will drag them down. He says their hard work will be for nothing. They will all fade away. And then he calls himself the new face of fear, a sentiment that lost all meaning when he lost against the Undertaker. So
I am the new face of fear, but you're not.
I am.
You lost.
We said it last week. I'll say it again this week. I'm really sad that I don't care about these promos anymore.
Yeah.
Because Wyatt, get ready, is a loser.
The worst part is they're really good promos.
They are good. But unfortunately, when he wants to talk as if he never had a match with Undertaker, let alone lost it, and just calling him, what was it? Once I beat you, I can call myself the new face of fear. You lost, you're still calling yourself the new face of fear. Everyone that Bray Wyatt calls out, he loses to. If he calls out someone and beats them, it means fucking nothing. So that's the problem with Wyatt. There.
It's like I can't do it, but I can. And you know what? I will. Fuck it.
His character makes a lot of noise, does nothing. Yeah, makes a lot of promises, doesn't make any of them. Right? The Wyatt character could be so much better than it is now, and it's just such a shame that. And all this could have been helped. Like I don't want to talk about it too much, but if he had beaten Undertaker and then he's talking about his next target, people would take that much more seriously because
that's it.
He is now.
He beat the Undertaker for fuck's sake.
Yeah, like I beat the Undertaker. He's gone. He won't be back ever. He can say all this stuff. And my next target, I'm going to do the exact same thing.
That's it.
You can't say that about the next guy because he got beaten easy by the Undertaker. So there we are. Sometimes, not always, wins and losses don't always matter. In this case, losing all the time does matter because people just don't. I just don't look at Wyatt the same way as I used to, and that's a real shame because I used to be really excited about what Wyatt had to say and about who he was fighting. Now, not so much. So, Ryback versus Adam Rose. As you would expect, this match doesn't last very long. But in other news, the sky is also blue. So
I'll tell you what, the parts like, and there's Adam Rose in the ring. I was like, oh, we're not going to see an Adam Rose pretty spine buster.
I know we didn't see one, did we? Did he do one? I don't think he did.
I don't think he did.
No, I don't think he did this week.
I think if anyone's going to be spine bustering anyone in that match, it was just like, yeah, it's going to be Ryback.
You know what's a bit of a shame here? After Ryback wins the match, it's not a shock. It was a shell shock, but not a shock to all of us. But
that's it. It's like Ryback wins.
This sentence.
I didn't know that.
Are you ready for this sentence, Matt? Right. I'm going to say this, and I'm scared that it doesn't bemuse me anymore. This particular line. Are you ready?
Got it.
The banana and a hot dog attack Ryback after the match, and Ryback then beats them as well. Why does that not?
That shouldn't like make sense. That should be like, now I need sectioning.
I'm scared that doesn't faze me anymore. Yeah, that I'm like, this is Raw. But then again,
sounds about right.
Yeah. Still,
it's like there's a banana and a hot dog attacking a man. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. It's just Raw. Just the way it is. Still, bit of a filler match for no reason, but we'll
Yeah.
leave it there.
No.
Renee Young catches Kane backstage. She asks what Kane thinks of the social media messages that Rollins left him on Twitter. Kane obviously, he's just come out of a match. He didn't catch his Twitter yet, so bit of a stupid question by Renee Young. But Kane confronts Rollins, and the champ doesn't know how the messages got out. Oh, Rollins. I think, to be honest, we should take Twitter away from him. We should take Twitter away from him because he keeps leaking too many stuff. I mean, just stop it, Rollins. We'll take Twitter away from you. We'll give it back when you learn how to keep your fucking messages to yourself.
That's it.
Rollins says that he's sorry and he'll dedicate his match against Ziggler to Kane tonight. So that leads to that match: Ziggler versus Rollins. This is the main event. These two, right? Let's talk about Ziggler and Rollins as a matchup. These two have shown that they can pull off a good match together, and he's hoping that WWE can give them the storyline tools one day to pull off a big championship feud and a really big pay-per-view main event match. I know it's unlikely, but let's hope that happens. These two, they can have a great match. Let's hope that WWE puts them in the spotlight. And we could have a really good match from these guys for the belt. And like I said, it's incredibly hopeful, but it would be very intriguing to have a really good story backing it up. Ziggler going for the belt, and then you have a fantastic wrestling match that definitely will happen from it. It's just a safe bet.
Yeah.
All of that.
Like, what's going to happen as a result? Gold. That's what's going to happen.
That's it. And Ziggler could be one of the guys that gets a title shot leading up into SummerSlam. I'd be up for that. Absolutely. Yeah. I really would. So, Sheamus, during this match, he distracts Ziggler, and Rollins then hits his new finisher, which we talked about earlier on. He wins the match with that move. Rollins says that afterwards, he brings out the mic, he says he's proved that he's the man. And this brings out Triple H.
Yep.
Triple H starts his speech, and Rollins just takes the mic away from him to gloat about the victory. And then he calls Kane useless and obsolete. Tell you what, Rollins just can't fucking make his mind up, can he, about Kane? Jesus.
That's it. Oh, yeah, like, we'll get on just fine. Yeah, like, go get on the good side of the gatekeeper, haven't I?
But this brings out Kane, the useless and obsolete Kane, which, to be honest, he's not that far wrong. Kane loses all of his matches, and, still. But I wouldn't say that to Kane's face, because the guy's hench. We saw that in person. Yeah,
That's it.
Big-ass guy. I just would not want to get on his bad side. This brings out Kane. He argues with J&J security on the ramp. So does Triple H as well. And the cage drops around Rollins. He asks it to come down. But then Orton comes in. He slithers under the ring just before it drops. It reminds me a little bit. They didn't show off Orton actually slithered in the ring. But I reminded myself the last person that got in just before the cage closed was Rollins himself. And he was almost impaled by the down.
Oh, God, yeah.
Which, looking back on it, was really scary, actually, looking back then. The pair have a little bit of a brawl. Rollins tries to escape. Orton grabs his foot when he's up on the ropes, flicks him off, RKO's him, which is quite a cool looking RKO.
Oh, yeah.
From out of nowhere.
He made good of his promise.
He did.
I will RKO loads of people, and you at the end of the night.
Yeah, he RKO'd 6 people in total. So
yeah,
that's the part of that there. And then he ends the show holding the belt, standing tall, which obviously means he's not winning it. So this is the WWE logic, the way things work. So, yeah, that's the show. The go home show for Extreme Rules. All in all, mediocre show. I thought it was quite lax for a go-home show for what is a very forgettable card, all in all.
Yeah.
And it showed, again, this week, and I know this horse has been ridden to the ground. It's basically nothing of that fucking horse is left. But it shows, again, that WWE have never really found the 3-hour format of Raw easy to book. And there was a lot of filler on this show.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts on it. I think it was an okay match.
True.
I think, and it's a shame that this is a go-home show. This is a missable show. You can watch it if you like, but you can miss this show, and you wouldn't miss that much. That's just my opinion on the matter. So, the shining light over the last like month's worth of Raws, ironically, has been John Cena's Open Challenge. That's where all the best matches have been.
There hasn't been one.
And
there has been one, but
yeah, there was one this week. It just wasn't as good. So
yeah,
and the show overall, I just wasn't feeling it that much, but. Still, it wasn't bad. It just wasn't good. It was in the middle. Is that your general thoughts of the show?
Yeah, watchable but missable.
Watchable but missable. We're coming over 2 hours on the podcast, so we'll put our predictions there just quickly, and we'll wrap up the show for this week with the new segment as well added in there. Our predictions for Extreme Rules, and we will start from what I don't believe this will be the card. I think some of it will be as it starts up, but a few matches could be changed in and out. But in the pre-show, Tyson Kidd and Cesaro versus the New Day for the Tag Team Championship.
Kidd and Cesaro.
Yeah, I'm going with Kidd and Cesaro as well. I just don't think New Day will be the ones that win the belts. I think they could easily get DQ'd and end up beating down the champs or something like that, or along those lines. I just don't see Kidd and Cesaro dropping the belts now, personally. Are you going under the same sort of thought?
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, I just think it's weird as well because
New Day's not ready for the belts yet. That's sort of my.
There is a chance they could win. It's just then you got a heel team beating a heel team. I just don't.
Yeah, but I think in this situation, Kidd and Cesaro will be the face team.
They still act really, really heel. So, I don't know. I just see Kidd and Cesaro walking out with the belts. I don't think New Day are the team to win these belts yet. This could be the moment that they go fully heel. It just seems odd that they would be doing that against a heel team. It just, to me, doesn't mesh that well. But
yeah,
we'll see from there. Ambrose versus Harper. I do see this as a possible show opener. It could also be Ziggler and Sheamus, or it could be Bryan and Barrett. But yeah, I think that
currently has no stipulation set for it. So.
Yeah, and there's a chance that match may not even happen. So
yeah.
So I see Ambrose and Harper, like I said, unfortunately being the start of a 3-month feud, which doesn't have that much steam now. So that's a little bit of an issue there. But I do see Harper getting this win.
Yeah.
With Ambrose getting a victory later on down the line. I see Ambrose getting beaten here. Maybe Ambrose winning the next 2 matches. I don't know. I think Harper will get the victory here. What about you?
I think we're going to have Ambrose. And then just Harper carrying on the assault.
Okay, so you think Ambrose will get the win, but Harper will stand tall. So.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think Harper will just win the match outright, but still, that'll be interesting. I always love it when we get different predictions because it makes them a little bit more interesting. You know, even the matches I'm not that interested in seeing. So this match, however, could be a show stealer, but much to Matt's point, let's just see how far they can really go. We know that Harper and Ambrose both have amazing matches in them. Let's just hope they can have one.
They've had really good matches together as well.
Yeah, exactly. So, Roman Reigns versus the Big Show. Yeah, Roman Reigns
in
will
the
win.
last fan standing match.
Yeah, exactly. Roman Reigns will win this. That's just it. Roman Reigns will win. This match is going to get shit on.
Yeah,
it's going to get shit on. And as I said, when I said earlier on, is that when Roman says I'll be the last man standing, he'll be the only man standing in that whole arena because no one's going to give a shit. So
that's it.
You're going Reigns as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's obvious. It's too obvious to me.
I'm excited for
imagine if Big Show gets the win, people would just be like, ugh, really? Because that means we're going to have a longer rivalry where Reigns is going to have to get 2 victories over him. Yeah, but there we are.
It's like, I'll pass.
Yeah, 2 more months of Reigns Big Show. No. Definitely not. Nikki Bella versus Naomi. I tell you what, Nikki has been the champion for a while. The chance of her dropping the belt is somewhat more of a possibility now.
I think she'll retain.
I think she'll retain, but it is a chance that she could lose this to Naomi. It's one of those same situations as well. It's like heel against heel, which is a bit odd. But
yeah,
now I see Nikki retaining this belt. It could be if Naomi wins, it could be a thing that maybe Brie tries to get involved, and then accidentally costs her sister the match. That could easily happen.
That could work, yeah.
I'm actually tied between going with that and Naomi. No, I'll stick with Nikki. But that could happen. And Naomi wins the belt. No. I actually, the more I think of it, the more I think Naomi's walking out of this the champion. Because they want to get over the new her having this new attitude is going to be the next step in her career.
Nikki wins, Naomi. Nikki retains, Naomi wins through DQ.
I'm switching mine. Naomi to win the belt.
Okay.
last moment, I'm going to regret that. I'm going to regret it. Naomi to win the belt. That's my prediction. Dolph Ziggler versus Sheamus in a kiss me ass match. Dolph Ziggler will lose, and he will kiss Sheamus's ass.
I think Sheamus will be kissing Ziggler's ass.
Really?
Yeah. Why
Wow,
not?
that's a ballsy move.
Why not?
I think Dolph Ziggler will be planting his lips. Unfortunately, I don't want it to be this way. On the whitest ass in the locker room.
That much is true.
Yeah. And that's not Vince McMahon, so I'm talking about Sheamus. But yeah, seeing that, by the way, the idea of this happening isn't exactly that much of an appealing stipulation, but still, we'll remember that. But you think Ziggler will get a win? Or maybe Ziggler gets the win and Sheamus then
I think
attacks him afterwards.
It's a stipulation that sort of sits more with Ziggler. It's the gimmick. He has the fame, so
I could see Ziggler winning and Sheamus refusing to, and then maybe bro kicking Ziggler afterwards. Or something like that.
Or maybe you could just tell in the tone of my voice, I really don't care for
this. To be honest, I was about to say, you just don't give a shit. Yeah. No, I'll go with Sheamus to win. Daniel Bryan against Bad News Barrett. Two things: either this match doesn't go ahead, or Bryan drops the belt. That's my two. Yeah. That's my two things. So, one, it won't happen. Two, if it does happen, Bryan will drop the belt. And my prediction: Barrett or nothing.
Yeah, Barrett or bust.
Yeah, are you going with that one as well?
Yeah, totally.
Barrett or bust. I like that. John Cena against Rusev. John Cena will retain his belt, and Rusev will move on to something different. That's how I see things going on here. Just the fact that Cena's been laid out by Rusev over the last couple of weeks and all that, I just see Cena retaining this, moving on to something else, and Rusev needs to get away from Cena. He needs to get out of Cena's airspace now, because
before it gets too much.
It gets too much, yeah. And then they need to build up Rusev up a little bit again to get him roughly back to where he was. He will never have that full appeal again, but he could be something for them. He could be useful. Seth Rollins versus Randy Orton. And I think Rollins will retain the belt. I think Kane will get involved for one reason or another, but Rollins will retain the belt.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be by pinfall. Rollins will escape, but that's the bottom line.
You reckon you'll have a Rollins escape?
Yeah, I don't think he'll pin Orton. I think he'll escape from Orton. They have to make him win in a heel way. Him pinning Orton in the middle of the cage, just doesn't sit right in my realm of thinking. So maybe Kane gets involved. He wants to chokeslam Rollins, but then he does it to Orton instead, and then Rollins is able to escape, and then Kane afterwards feels so not bad about it. He's just like, I just saved this guy again, and he's just still spitting in my face. This leads to the Kane Rollins rivalry that we'll have. That's how I see it playing out. So, do you think
that could work?
Do you think there's any chance that Orton's walking out of this with a belt? No, exactly. Yeah. Rollins will win, and you're going with that same prediction.
Yeah.
So those are our predictions. If you can get this, listen to this up and put your comment up before the show, then play the game along with us. Make your predictions in the comments below. We would love to hear them. Maybe you can beat me and Matt for predictions. If you do that, I'll give you a special shout out on this show. I definitely will. So give your predictions there. We're also the episode 75 will be coming up soon. There will be a change a little bit in the graphics and also in the audio, which we do every 25 episodes. Our long-standing fans will know that.
Of it.
Yeah. The way that we work it, just to let people know, is that every 25th episode we change things a little bit. Every 50th episode we change things a lot in terms of the aesthetic of the show. Like we change the entire track instead of just some of the audio stuff, and we change the entire graphic rather than just putting a different background on this sort of stuff. So that's what's coming up, episode 75. You can also tweet us as well at TalkWrestlePod. Myself and Matt are still wondering whether or not to put a Facebook group up so you guys can interact with us more on a daily basis. If you guys like the idea of that and interacting between yourself, I like it when you guys haven't got debates between yourself. That's really cool. So if you feel like the idea of having like a Facebook group up or something along those lines, then
by all means, drop it up.
By all means, let us know. We will set it up if that's something you guys are interested with. News on the channel is that we've been getting an influx of new subscribers, so fantastic. Welcome to the show. Should have said that right at the start, actually. And we are now closer to 275 than we were 250, so that's a really good growth recently. And our task is to get to 400 by the end of this year. I'd say we're still on point. I still think we could make that. So, and the show is growing and growing as time goes on, and it's down to you guys sharing the video and supporting it in such a way you are, asking us questions to give us really good debates on the show. Yes, you may get tired of us thanking you, but we won't stop. Thank you again for all the support that you've shown the show. Apart from that, if you want to leave any questions, comments, also on Twitter as well, at TalkWrestlePod. Is there anything else I need to plug, Matt? Is there anything else I need to get out of the way?
I don't think there's anything left to plug.
No, I think I've done it all. I'm all plugged out.
I think you've done it.
That's it. I've done it. I hope you guys did enjoy the show. Oh no, I haven't. Any new watchers should subscribe to the channel. See, I didn't even say that.
Okay, yeah.
See,
sorry.
That's it. Yeah, subscribe to the channel. We'd love to see you there. We will be reviewing Extreme Rules next week. We review every pay-per-view. I'm quite safe to say that now.
Yeah.
I do also have another little mini thing, maybe on my own plans in the future, and it's more of a article, but kind of a spoken word article that I've had on my mind for a while. So I might write that up. It might not be next week, might not be next month, but it's in the track and in the mind. So it might have something a little bit different coming up there as well.
Something in the pipeline.
I kind of want to explain in a very well worded term a lengthy discussion about. Because some people might say, oh, if you dislike the show this much, why do you keep watching it? And it's basically my response to that. So...
It's like that video I posted on your wall a while back. It's like, but you like wrestling. Of course I like it. And that's why I hate it.
Yeah, it's... my explanation will maybe make a little bit more sense to people who would ask that question first off. So I'm basically gearing it more towards them. But yeah, that may be coming down the pipeline whenever I get some free time. With the 75th episode, I'm going to be busy. And Matt's always busy. It's the nature of life. So maybe it might not be in the next month, but it may be the month afterwards. We can catch up there and we can have a lively debate. But let us know. Thanks a lot for watching the episode. I won't procrastinate any further. Have a great week. We'll catch you again next week for the Extreme Rules review and obviously the episode then. Apart from that, we'll catch you all again next time.
We'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.